Okay, welcome back to Am I Your Hero, and this is a pop-up video that she decided to do. We're gonna let her start.
Okay, so Mikey said, welcome back to Am I Your Hero. I'm Butterfly Spirit, and I have a YouTube channel also. And I wanted to talk about how you celebrate Christmas when you're not a Christian, because a lot of people think of Christmas as being just a holiday for Christians and stuff like that, where Christians go to church and they have a tree and they, have gifts and all that stuff. And there might be some people out there who are no longer Christians and they want to know how to celebrate the holiday. What do I do? Especially if your family is not, if they're not like you. I mean, typically, if you're going to be different, like if you're not going to be Christian and you're just looking for what's next for you, like the next path for you, as opposed to being a Christian, what do you do? So this video is just meant to talk about this because it kind of popped in my head. And I guess it's because there's people who have newly left Christianity and they're trying to find out what they're supposed to do. And that's, I think, what they're trying to figure out. So for us in particular, how long have we not been Christians? I forget. It's been over 2 years? 2 or 3 years, I think. Because we lived on Yale.
4 years.
4 years? 4 years. Okay. I can't really remember whatever. I think it was.
I remember specifically how old I was, and I was 27 when I stopped.
Oh, wow.
And I'm 31 now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not coming
So you just
together.
count your fingers: 28, 29, 30, 31. 4 years.
Okay, so because I'm 29, so I'm in 25, I guess. Yeah, I'm 25. Okay. So I guess at the time I would have been 25. I don't really, remember the exact day or whatever. I think it's just more so that for me, the whole Christian thing, it didn't really ring true in my life very much. It really didn't, because of a lot of the things that I went through and it kind of woke me up to the fact that, oh, well, it's not real, and it's not like you go to church and then something profoundly happens to you. Like, there was somebody on my Facebook, and she said that her uncle was in the hospital, and she asked people to pray for him. And I guess she used it as a miracle that people prayed and he got better. But what about her uncle? Didn't her uncle have the will to try to be healthy and, pull through the operation when being sick and stuff? I'm like, because when people are giving thanks to a God or something like that, they're totally taking it out of the person's hands who are actually doing something. Especially if somebody's sick, if they have the will to live, that's them doing it. It's not a God or a Jesus doing anything. That's not what's going on.
Everybody was in there, had a Bible out,
Yeah.
had crosses on, prayed for your auntie. Even we was there, but she didn't make it.
Yeah, and that's true. It is. And I think a lot of people are using it as a false sense of hope to make something happen. And it doesn't do anything. What about the people out there right now? It's Christmas Eve. So what about people out there, and I know there's people out there, what about people out there who have their electric off at this time? Mom and dad couldn't make any money, and, maybe they got laid off because of COVID, and their stuff is off. And their kids are asking for presents and stuff like that, and they can't provide that to them. What about that? What about kids that are in an adoption center? What about them? They're wanting their parents to be there, and they're not. What about people who are having, people who have cancer? What about those people with chronic illnesses? And, they just want somebody in their family to be around them and things like that, and their family doesn't care about them. What about that? I think a lot of people are not thinking about everything that's going on in the world, and the fact that obviously the Christianity is not real, because if it was, everybody would be healthy. Everybody would have everything they want to have. And, I think there will be proof that there's supposed to be something that can show up to you and supposedly save the day, I mean, that's what people say, right? Isn't that what they say in church most of the time?
Not only do they not say that, it's also in the Bible itself. They got angels saving the day. They got angels destroying whole towns, to the point where God said, oh my God, what I'm doing some evil stuff. Let me repent myself.
But what is he repenting to? Like,
he's repenting himself for what he did, destroying send an angel to destroy a whole city. I mean, you can send an angel to do that. Was always my biggest right. You can send an angel to destroy and do that, but you can't send an angel to save my sister from being, save me and my sister from 10 years of
abuse,
of rape from Christians and like molestation from Christians and being hit and all that stuff from Christians and all that abuse for 10 years. Are you kidding me? Like, but you can send the angels to do that and destroy.
Yeah. Kill, steal, and destroy.
Kill, steal, and destroy to the point where you find yourself doing evil. You can't use that necessary evil against the people who's doing evil against us, because in the Bible down the line, you got verses where you okay with it and you ordaining this stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just how I felt about it. When I got out, when I was reading it for myself, all the verses, all that Bible study I was in.
And they never got to that.
And we never actually studied the Bible, really. You didn't never study it. You just read parts, certain parts over and over every year. And we did that for like 3 years. And that's all they did until they told me, put my rent money in and I'm going to be blessed. And I'm going to God's going to pour out a blessing that's going to be ground shaking, run over, that I'm not going to be able to receive it. It's going to be so big. But it was not, I didn't get blessed at all. I lost my job that week.
You lost your dream job that you really liked.
Working with computers and stuff like that. And I never got another job since then that's been that amount of wage and that amount of hours. And that I like that much since then. So that's what drove me to say, oh, I must not be a true Christian. Let me read this Bible. And that's when I found out all the stuff that he told me was the devil, was Satan, was really all God. And then when I went to him I went to the pastor like, hey, what did you say about this? What's up with this stuff? You lied to me, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's why prayers don't work. That's why this and that don't work and all this other stuff. And he was like, oh, well. Then he really pissed me off when he told me, oh, well.
He doesn't.
1,000 years is a day to God. I'm like, what? So you had me in here this whole time repenting and praying and doing all this stuff, and God's not going to receive my stuff until 1,000 years? I don't live for 1,000 years. I need help now. My family needs help now. I need help when I need it, and I need help now. I don't need help 1,000 years later. I don't live for that long. So the first repentance I ever did in my whole life, God's not going to receive it until I'm 1,000 years old dead. And I'm like, so you got me in here for nothing. I'm like, so if I'm sitting here, you making me think that I'm sitting here going to sleep, letting it marinate for a day or 24 hours to give God some time to work out his little miracle in his mysterious ways. But I'm not going to get that until it sits there and marinates for 1,000 years, because 1,000 years is a day to God. I don't live that long. So then all this was useless all this time. And so I was like, done.
I think for me, what was kind of a signal that Christianity didn't do anything for me was because basically my life where, I had to move around basically when I was a kid because, my mom thought, okay, well, we'll move here. And we moved several times different places. And I didn't get a chance to like settle. A lot of people will say, oh, well, that's more on your parent. But I'm like, well, if you're a parent and you have kids and you got to make it happen, you got to make money, you got to have an opportunity comes up. And, my mom was African-American. So it's not like for us, it's hard to get opportunities. It's not something where you have somebody and they're Caucasian or white and they have the ability to just have people giving them jobs, so they can walk to a place and they can get a job, or they get it from somebody they know, their uncle, their aunt, their grandparents, or something like that. It's not the same thing. So when you're Black, it's harder on you. And I think that's something people don't really understand. I think they're just thinking, oh, well, Black people, they're lazy. So no, I wasn't lazy. I mean, I have a college degree, right? So you would think that for me, I can go and I can apply online and I can get a whole bunch of jobs and everything like that. And, the truth is, I can't. It takes a while for me to get something,
Yeah, try 5 years to get something with a wage that is even minimum wage of just like a starting wage of getting in for when you finish college. Try taking 5 years to get to that point.
Yeah, and then like there's things that I noticed, like me and my mom were living in my grandmother's house, and there was times where the electric was off, the heat was off. We had to in order to bathe, we had to literally put some water in bowls, heat it up in the microwave, take it upstairs, and then wash up with that. Okay. Is there a God if you have to go and do that kind of stuff? And we're going to church, we're praying, they're asking us to give money and everything. And people look at you mean if you don't give any money and shit. And if you give money, people are happy to see you. And if you don't give any money, they're over here, looking, paying attention, see if you give any money. Did she put anything in the pot? What she put in there? People paying attention, and if you don't give enough money, like what happened to my mom is that, like, we went to a Catholic church, so they will be sending you letters and envelopes asking you to give money to the church. That's what they're asking you to do. But the church is not doing anything for us. One thing I remember, we went to the church and there were some taxes owed on my grandmother's house. And, we went to the church for help because we're like, a bunch of people are giving, me and my mom talked about it. We're like, well, a bunch of people are giving. So if they're giving money, surely the church has enough money to give us so we can pay the taxes on our house stuff. Surely that's the case. We go to the church. We talk to the father of the church. We say, hey, we need money to pay taxes on our house, so we can continue to live there, And then he's like, oh, well, the only thing I can give you is $20. $20? What is $20? What's $20 if they get all this money from all these people, 10% of their income? What's $20? It's not anything, is it? I'm sure the church is getting more than $20 from people. You got people, you said 10% of people's income, right? So you got people, they make $1,000, so they put $100 and everything in. Okay, but the church can only give $20.
Shoot, anytime anyone mentions they're now a Christian or something, everybody want to jump on them, no matter if they're Catholic, Lutheran, Pentecostal, Baptist. Everybody want to join in the Facebook comments and join in the YouTube comments. Tell you what, since all y'all agree, when the person is a Christian at that time, since all y'all agree and all y'all want to jump in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead and jump in TD Jakes and ask him to donate 10% of what he makes to you or to a person of your church, because his 10% will change a motherfucking life.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. TD Jakes 10% will change your life.
Exactly.
Okay, so since y'all want to be together, get all y'all together, all the people in the Facebook comments, YouTube comments, go get it. Everybody that wants to jump on somebody, y'all can jump on TD Jakes, say donate that 10% to your church to give to this person who's in need.
Yeah.
It'll change their life.
And you know what? I think there was a time where we lived in our apartment and we were literally about to lose the apartment. And literally, Alan went on Facebook and told people what was going on. And do you know how many people gave us money?
All Christians, all posting the Christian stuff.
Right. And what happened?
0.
Nobody talked about it. Nobody said, hey, let me give you some money to at least try to help out or whatever. Nobody helped.
Nope.
So when we're Christians and they're Christians and they can't help, right? That's my game thing. And then when you're not a Christian, then they're like, oh, well, I can't give because you're not a Christian. But the thing is I think that people who are Christians are just giving to somebody who doesn't need it. Like, for example, and I don't know if this girl's Christian or not. You remember the girl who, I think it was a girl that she paid her rent money to go see a Beyonce concert. Yep. And she was expecting Beyonce to help her out and stuff like that or whatever. Yep. Did Beyonce help her out? Well, no. Okay. And I think that there's a lot of people who they're giving money to people who are already rich. They're already rich. They're, Beyonce, Drake, Nicki Minaj, different people, and it's not just them. It's a lot of celebrities. And people get our money to them and stuff. And those people have money. And I'm wondering, like, why do people give money to people who are rich, who don't need it? That's like something that's like little in my head. I'm like, why do they do that? Is it because they're rich and so they want to make an impression on that person? So that's why they want to do it. Because then if they give to that person, they get notoriety. Maybe that's or fame. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they think that, like, if somebody is a rapper and they donate to that person who is a rapper or whatever, and they're successful, they think, oh, if I donate to them, they can give me the hookup on going, and they can give me a job this or that place. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe that might be why they do that, and they feel like they could get money. But while they're giving money, your situation is getting worse and worse. I don't see why people even do it. I really don't understand why they do.
All right. Well, I kind of feel, since this is my channel and then I know what the title is, I'm gonna get to the title.
Okay.
So,
how do we celebrate
15
Christmas?
minutes later, sorry, but the way I celebrate Christmas when I'm not Christian is easy. Take a look. I'll turn my camera around.
Be careful, I don't let you come out.
See?
Look at that beautiful tree. Oh wow.
Let's make it exciting anyway. Not have to celebrate it, Just get your tree, put the lights on it. It doesn't matter anymore. You're free from the chains of the Christianity stuff that binds you, that makes you feel like you're grounded. You can't do this, you can't do that. Even when you're an adult. You know how when you're a kid and you're told, you can't watch these adult videos because it's rated R because you're still a kid? Well, when you're an adult, you can, okay? But when you're an adult and a Christian, it's like you still can't. It's like you're still a kid. That's why everybody still feels mad and upset, because they're constantly feeling grounded. Okay?
Oh yeah, that's how you felt about it when you said that.
Just go ahead and do it. Get your presents out, get your tree, get your lights, have a great time. It's not stopping Black people from being oppressed. It's not helping Black people from not being oppressed. So stopping doing anything, it's not helping anybody. Anyway, even if we try to do stuff as a collective and don't celebrate a tree because a tree means penis and all that stuff, but no, it don't. I mean, yeah, do to them, to Freemasons, all them people, but the tree's been here before people was here.
Yeah,
it's been here. Mm-hmm. No tree meant anything. The only thing the tree meant was keeping you alive and producing that oxygen and taking in your carbon dioxide to turn that stuff back into oxygen to give you life and everything else life.
So you can.
That's all it meant. So to me, it's like, why stop doing something?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it means something. I mean, if it's evil, if it's unrighteous, I didn't say unholy. I know what holiness has to offer. I done read that book Bible enough to understand curse of him, all this extra stuff. I had enough of that. Enough of that. I know what holiness is about, and I don't want to be holy. I just want to be righteous. Do what's right. Okay, so be righteous. Do what's right. Just do that, and don't be breaking the law, committing crimes, and don't be doing any of that stuff. You should be fine with whatever it is you're doing.
I think the way I would say to celebrate Christmas is, like he's saying, have a tree, throw some lights on it. If you want to buy gifts for people that you don't normally buy them for, go ahead and buy them a gift. If somebody like, let's say you're not a Christian and that person's like Jehovah's Witness or something, I mean, for them, they don't celebrate holidays. You might be torn, do I get them something? Do I not get them something? Would they accept it or whatever? They may or may not accept it.
This is what you do. You get them something. When everybody else has something, they might feel like they want to be included because of inclusion. Mm-hmm. If not, then that's fine. Take the wrapper off. Take all the stuff off. Wait till like a week later, till after Christmas. And then you go there, or you just mail it to them. You still give them the gift.
Yeah.
It's just mail to them. Hey, I bought you something. It's not on any holiday. Doesn't mean anything. Okay? That way you ain't waste your money.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff. Because most times when you have the receipts, some people keep them, some people don't. But that's what you do. Mail it off to them, or if you live close to them, go deliver it yourself and say, I got you something. And have it be like in the middle of January. No holidays anywhere close, that they can say, I don't celebrate holidays. So there you go, because it's not a holiday. Just hand it to them.
Yeah.
Then you're good. You still gave them the gift. You still appreciate you, love you. That's it. You just have to do something a different way.
Okay. I think you can celebrate the holiday. You can be around people. I say watch out for people on holidays, especially if it's a big family gathering, because during that time, people haven't seen you in a while. If you have people in your family pressuring you, when you gonna get married, when you gonna have kids, if that's the kind of conversation, people are going to have, and you're not comfortable with that for Christmas, you don't have to do that. You can have somebody drop you off a plate, let them know you got to go to work or something. You may not have to go to work, but, I got something to do later. So I can't be around a bunch of people. And that's something I think a lot of people are going to encounter around their families is the uncomfortable conversations. People who are, seem to be doing better, oh, well, this person, you might have somebody in your family saying, oh, this person, oh, they got a good job, they got married and they got a baby or whatever and stuff like that. Why aren't you doing that? And that's really an uncomfortable thing, especially if you're there to see people and you're just trying to get to know people, like me with, a side of my family, I'm not close with them because they're putting pressure, and if you're going to encounter pressure, some people can go through it where they're around people and stuff, but it's only going to take so long before you're tired of what they're saying, which for me, that's what I stopped doing. So I used to go to a family gathering on my dad's side. I used to do that. And I stopped doing it because I realized that they didn't really value me being there. And by the time people are giving you silent treatment, you shouldn't be around. You just live your life and do what you got to do. And you don't have to deal with the types of things that they're talking about, because you don't have to be just like everybody in your family. You don't have to have the same clothes. You don't have to drive the same kind of car. You don't have to live in the same areas they do. You ain't got to go to church like they do. You don't have to do any of that. When you're an adult, you can do what it is that you want to do. That's what you can do. That's why you're an adult. A lot of times when people are adults, you feel like you have to go and do something. Oh, I got to get married because my parents got married. I got to have a kid because my parents have a kid. You feel like you have to do that, but you don't have to do it. Adulthood is where you can experiment and do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. You ain't got to be poor just because your family's poor. You can be successful. You can make decisions like that, and that's why I'm saying mentioning the family part, because that happens, and it does. And it's nothing worse than you're in an awkward situation with a family member and you're there and you're just trying to see people, see how they're doing. And the first thing they say to you, like it happened to me, oh, when y'all get married. Not how you doing, not how your mama doing, not how your dad doing, oh, where you work at, none of that. Just when you get married, okay? But you'll be able to tell what people are doing if you go on social media, you say, hey, what do you guys think about me getting married, and nobody says anything. Like I did. And nobody had a comment. So, because nobody has a comment, they really don't care like that, And I'm discovering that when you're not a Christian, you see a different side of people. You notice things about people. And I think that that's what helps you kind of move forward and move around people that are more like yourself. And I think that's something that you should do is during the holidays, if you think you're going to get pressure, stay at home, hang out with friends you have, have a little get together, barbecue, whatever you want to do, and don't deal with pressure, whatever, if you don't have to, And I know it can be uncomfortable if you're around people, especially older people, like if you're African American. You might have older people, maybe not your grandparents, maybe your grandparents, or you may have people who are like great aunts or uncles or whatever. And they can be, putting pressure out there, oh, I'm the elder and everything. And, you need to sit up straight and you need to talk polite or whatever when you're a kid. And I've seen that when I was a kid where, they're expecting us to be all polite and stuff. And because they're older, they get value. But what about when you're a grown up, you're an adult? Do people give you value? That's really something important, because I know there's people out there who are having, they're getting pressure. And some people fall for pressure, which sucks because they do. And then they find themselves in a worse or a bad situation because they did something they didn't want to do. I've seen it on my dad's side of the family. I've seen a cousin of mine, she walked down the aisle, got married, and she wasn't even happy. And she went through it. I wouldn't go through with something like that. Adulthood is where you find what you want to do. If you have people in your family who, when you come around, they want you to go to church or whatever, you ain't got to go to church. You can say, hey, I'll just see you at the church. Hey, we can go out to eat. I'll see you then, or I'll cook and you come get something. We can talk for a bit and then they can leave. It's an easier, you have an easier experience. You ain't got to deal with the church stuff. people pressuring you to do things you don't want to do and stuff. Because holidays, they do it. They do it Thanksgiving, they do it Christmas and stuff like that. People take the opportunity, and you don't have to be around that type of energy if that's not what you want to do. You know, just be around people that you want to be. You can be at home with your significant other, you know, go travel somewhere, you know, Cancun, whatever, just to enjoy it. Just so that you can, you know, have something to look forward to. You don't got to take all the pictures or whatever. You know, you ain't got to have such a great, wonderful gift. You ain't got to have all that. You know, it's basically about what it is you want to do and what you want to get out of it. That's what you want to do. Did you have anything else?
I have one last thing. When it comes to the pressure, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do for real. Write that stuff down. Write down the questions that really bothers you. Why aren't you married? Why don't you have kids? Why don't you got a better job? All the hard stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable being around them. Write it down on a sheet of paper. Then what you're going to do, you're going to really think out your answer for every single person that asked that. That way you are solid in your answer and your reasons for that question when they ask you. And it doesn't matter what they think. Remember, there are reasons enough for you. You can have one or two, just have two reasons for each thing.
Okay.
And that's it. You're going to be using those reasons and those answers for every person. They will eventually leave you alone. Okay? Because you're not leaving them. They don't get the excitement from seeing you go, oh, I don't know. They don't get the energy pull from you where they're like, oh, yeah, I got them stumped. They don't know what to say to that question. Okay, because some people are like that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they are.
What's an example of what's an example, like, what if somebody says, you know, oh, well, why don't you have kids? Like, what's an example that you come up with? I mean, I know you haven't, but.
For me as well, I don't have kids because Christianity is still around. And when I was a Christian, that was my worst time. I was abused 10 years, less than 10 years, mental abuse, physical abuse, all from Christian people. If Christianity is still here, I try to get help from Christian people in different churches, and I literally seen what happened. They went in there to the church and said, the abusers did, whether they were the lesser ones and the mental ones and the physical ones. They went in their churches. I've seen it happen 3 times. They go in there, they say, well, I donate here. And then if that don't work, they'll hype everyone up. Give me an amen. I had a great testimony. God did something good for me. And everybody falls for it.
Yeah.
And you end up never being helped. You're still stuck in that situation. From a kid growing up, you don't ever get the help you need. Because they can hype up the church. And everybody agrees with them. With your abuse. So since Christianity is still here, I'm not having kids. I'm not helping make kids. I'm hypersensitive about condom usage and how I get rid of it. I mean, I'm not joking around. And I'll make a video on how to properly dispose of the semen in the condom so that you don't have to worry about kids down the road. Because that's how serious I am. I'm not playing. Okay. So that's my answer to that. That is really the answer. Plus, the simple fact that went through that, me and my sister both, and that's really the answer for that. I don't have any other answer. That's my greatest answer.
Have you had anybody who wasn't okay with what you said? You said you talked to a lady in a store about that before. I think you told me that this lady asked you when you were in the store. After
I said that, they're just rude. They feel like they got this
rude?
Yeah, they're rude because they keep trying to, even though you just told them that, they keep trying to get you to go to their church or something like that, or they keep you to come.
Recently?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like, no, it's not recent. I mean, they stopped.
But
for me, like, that's why. That's why I don't have. That's why. That's the answer. If you can't accept that answer, too bad. Because y'all do it all the fucking time. Y'all Christians will do that stuff all the time. Do you don't like the answer? Too bad. That's what you have to tell them. Tough. That's my answer. Tough. Yeah. Y'all shouldn't have did that then. Should have did that. I've had them try to kill me before too, but it kept failing. Now they all upset that I tell my story and everything like that because they failed and killed me. Too bad. I lived, and now I get to tell on all y'all motherfuckers what y'all did forever, the rest of my life. Unfortunately for y'all, story ain't never gonna change because it's not a lie. Y'all shouldn't do what y'all did, but all that damn time in all them different places. You kidding me? Yeah, that's my answer.
I think what I want people to not do is to do what he's saying, because I haven't even done that yet. And I think I'm gonna take some advice on what to do, because I get asked it more frequently and stuff. And since I'm a girl, I get people in my family that ask and everything and stuff. And, you know, having kids is not for everybody. It's not. You know, what if you're trying to still discover something? You know, you're trying to figure something out. Like, you're trying to decide, okay, well, what I want to do in my life? You know, do I want to live here? Do I want to live somewhere else? You know, what's comfortable to me? You know, because that's something that people don't do, is they don't find out what's comfortable to them. You know, with adulthood, you're 18, 19, or 20, and then you're like, oh, let me rush to college. Okay, after that, let me do this or whatever, and you're not taking time to really, you know, find out if you're going towards a goal maybe you set a long time ago that you want to go into.
No, it's okay if you guys don't have an answer like mine. That'll pretty much shut everybody up like that. I mean, you can easily say, well, I've looked up how much it costs to raise a kid, and I need $270,000 for put away for my child.
Oh wow.
From birth to 21, and I don't have that, so therefore I cannot afford it because that's what it would cost. And I'm doing what women always say: men need to take responsibility for their kids, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm taking responsibility for my kids before they get here. How can they be mad at that? That shit women don't say all the time, but really they're only saying that to get paid child support. But what if you are listening to what they're saying and you're doing it now before women can collect child support from you? They didn't expect that part. They didn't expect anybody to listen to them where they're not be able to get the money. It's too bad.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it would have, I think the cost of raising a kid would have gone up because of, you know, the COVID-19 and stuff. I think it's probably shot up there. So maybe at 300,000 at this point. I haven't looked at it, but it probably is there because, you know, a lot of people, like you're saying, taking responsibility. A lot of people aren't thinking about that when they have kids. They're not thinking that way.
And taking responsibility also is looking at your life.
Yeah.
I run around too much. I got to go fly off to these different places for my job. I'm not able to raise a little darling in a nice stable home where they can actually grow up and have friends from kindergarten up.
Yeah.
And that's important. The reason that's important, especially if you're Black, is because you need every connection you can gather for freaking jobs, because you're going to be going through jobs like madness. Okay? Because every year or every 2 years, they get rid of you when you're Black. So it's highly important for you to gather up from kindergarten to middle school, high school, college, and keep this big group of people that you know around this network that you know, so they can help you get in there into what job that they're at, or this and that, or to pull favors. All that stuff is important. So it does not do your child any favor if you're Black. If you are a traveler and you got to go everywhere, and your child is always not has a stable ground of network from your friends to grow up with, and to help them out later on down the road when it comes time for them to live on their own, have a job, pay bills, make 3 times the rent, all that stuff. And
also, when you consider having kids, well, what kind of diseases run in your family? You know, do you think about the diseases? You know, is there any chronic diseases? Is there cancer that runs in your family? You know, did your parent have cancer? Well, maybe you're at a higher, you know, there's a higher percentage that you can have a child with cancer.
Do you have twins in your family? Yeah. Does twins run in your family? Yeah. If that's the case, $270,000 ain't going to cut it, because you could be that person that bust out twins, and you're going to need 2 times that $270,000. And if you don't have that, you're still not ready, just in case.
And what about where you live? You know, that's important, because if you have twins, do you have room for twins? Are you in an apartment? You know, do you staying with a friend? You know, or you know, do you have your credit up to date? You know, where you can get a house? Is that something that you have? You know, it's about thinking about things. How much do you make? Is that enough to support a kid or something like that? I mean, what if you have a kid that has Down syndrome or something like that? You know, are you willing to go and do something like, if you know that the child's going to have mental illness, are you willing to go get an abortion? You know, if you're not ready for a kid, are you willing to do that? Or do you just think, oh, it's murder if I get an abortion or something like that? But think about the situation the kid will be in. If you can't, you don't have the money, you don't want strange people around your kid, and then they can go through abuse and stuff like that. You don't want to have that. I think this is something people don't really think about, and kids, when you think of Christmas, kids sitting around a tree, kids want presents. Okay, well, what if your kid wants $1,000 thing? What if they want something like that? Do you have the money for that?
It's okay to say, hey, I don't want kids because I don't have a lot of family members in my family who has the money when stuff goes down, or when a funeral happens, or they need money for that, or when somebody needs money because a car broke down, and I want to be that family member who has the money because that's not really in my family. Yeah. That's okay to say that too. You see, those are all the different examples of stuff that I would say that y'all can say, besides maybe the major one with dealing with the Christianity and all the abuse stuff that they've done. All those other stuff I said, y'all can say to that question. Y'all go ahead and write them down. Those are good things to say.
And I think you can also come up, like you said, come up with a reason why you're not married. Come up with that. I was reading this article yesterday about, there's a lot of people who aren't getting married. You can use a statistic. If it goes towards something, now you don't want to get it twisted. You want to read the whole report so somebody can't go against you. But, it's good to look into things like that to try to help you as a basis. So you can say, oh, well, I was watching, Dr. Phil or, some divorce court show or whatever, because people value TV. So you can use something like that. Oh, well, I'm not going to do that because there's a study or whatever that said on the Dr. Phil show. Dr. Phil's rich, of course I want to, you want to be smart, and what if there's things you want to achieve too, with, like, what do you call it? People who don't, who kill your dream, what do you call them? Dream killers?
Yeah, dream killers.
Yeah, well, what about that? What if you have a dream that you want to be an airplane pilot or something? If you want to do that and you have somebody that you're with and they want to have kids, well, you can't experience being a pilot if you have kids. You can't do that because like I'm saying, you will be away a lot. There will be a job where you'll be away, flying off to different countries and stuff like that, and people are counting on you. That's also something to consider. What in my life will work against that? And what if you just don't want to have kids?
And for a chick, holding out on a man is a lot less fun when a man don't got to worry about you putting out because he's gone all the time. Then that's going to cause a woman, that's going to cause an marriage to have an infidelity, because now it's not fun. She's not getting this negative energy from him for not putting out and having him be all upset about it and having him have attitude around the house because he's gone. So it's a lot harder to do that to a guy when he's gone all the time, because now he's not really worried about you like that. And y'all will just have sex whenever you have sex whenever he comes into town. So if it started off and you was a 3 times a week chick, got a house, got married, now you bait and switched them, now you're a once a month chick. Well, if he's gone all the time, once a month is just fine for him because he's gone all the time at work.
And you never know if if he has somebody on the side, that he works with. That's flying off different places, you never know.
Sorry, chicks, but a man's not going to suffer with scrotum cancer for not having sex after he's not a virgin anymore. He's not going to do that. You're not going to take care of his health. He's going to take care of his health, whether you like it or not. It's the same thing as eating. When you grew up, your best cook you knew was either your mom or your dad. You get your own place and you're hungry today, but your dad or your mom is the best cook you know. But they are not available right now. But you're hungry today. So what are you going to do? You're going to go to the grocery store and get yourself something to eat, or go to a restaurant and get yourself something to eat. It's the same thing. You're not going to starve and die. You're going to fulfill that need.
That's true.
And why is it a need? Because men can't masturbate all the time to fulfill the need, because they do not get the chemicals that's from the DNA from the woman to actually calm their chemical in their body from building up and calm that down. That's the reason it has to be a real woman. That's the reason people cheat. It's because they can't keep spanking the monkey. They can't keep masturbating. They can't keep doing that because there's no female chemical being absorbed from them to balance their chemicals out. Too much testosterone, in a man needs more estrogen. Too much testosterone in the woman will make her sex drive crazy. But even her herself, I don't know what she's probably missing, but too much estrogen in her will need testosterone. But for women, it's fine. They hold out for a whole month, stuff like that. It's not fine for a guy because it starts hurting down there. Then you start peeing out sperm, and then when you sit down sometimes, or you like your anus will hurt, stuff like that for being too full. Everything is freaking sensitive. Your jeans start feeling like they're so tight. Balls swell up that huge. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like a woman it's like a woman's that's pregnant that keeps making breast milk. Can you stop yourself making breast milk? Can you stop it? Can you stop yourself? No, it becomes fully engorged and you have to freaking release it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Otherwise it becomes tender, becomes heavy, becomes sore to the touch. It's the same thing down there. It just keeps making stuff. It just won't stop. It will not stop. It's the same thing for you having breast milk that keeps making milk. Same thing. Go ahead. That's pretty much all I had to say. Unless you have another question.
That's good for me.
Okay. Thank y'all for watching.